The streets of San Antonio take you from one extreme to another. Just a 30-minute drive, yet worlds apart. Our story begins before dawn on the city's west side. Ignacia Cruz is an immigrant mother of 4, her youngest 9 years old. Every morning they walk to the school bus, past a home where days before someone was shot.
Right there at the corner of my house.
She makes sure he gets on the bus and stays there.
I think the schools need some more support over here.
In this part of town, nearly half of adults don't have a high school diploma. Ignacia does, earned soon after she arrived from Mexico.
And I started working in a daycare, and then I was having 2 jobs, in a daycare and a fed fish as a cook.
Money is a constant concern. The median income in this neighborhood, $22,600.
They don't pay attention to this side, to the west side. There's a lot of homeless people. I think like whenever we put a complaint about lights on the street and we never get it, and we see on the other side of the town, they just said, we need lights over here, and they put them right away.
Ignacia does own her own home, and she has big dreams for her kids.
My dream is to finish school, high school, and just finish high school, be a professional.
But for her, the American dream still seems out of reach.
I haven't had it yet, but I think I'm gonna make it. I just need time. Last year, a national study showed her neighborhood was the most distressed in San Antonio. Now that distinction's moved across town to the city's east side.
I work here at the top of the line barbershop.
Between haircuts, Casey George reads a neighborhood newspaper.
And then I'm a Spurs fan.
Coach Pop's comments on white privilege hit home in this mostly minority area.
And it is a disparity as far as fund allocation throughout the city. You know, we do suffer on that end, but every other block I'm gonna hit a pothole. Like, you know, I'll make a left to get on 35 off of New Braunfels for the last 12 years, and it's the same pothole. It's never been fixed.
The East Side's gang violence makes headlines and makes it hard to keep kids out of trouble.
A challenge. A challenge because you want to steer them clear from any trouble. Because for some reason on this side of town, trouble is easy to get into. As far as the violence goes, they know where it's at. Police them areas and make it safe for people to feel like they can walk down the streets in their own neighborhood.
Next to his barber station, some swag from his high school.
The teachers need some more help, I know that, some more funding. I travel the city, so I see other schools. I see some schools look like malls. You know, that's how big they are.
But the East Side is home, and Casey wants the best for his 5 kids, including a son in the Marines.
The American dream, own a home, raise a family, go to work and retire.
Meantime, on the north side, along the more affluent part of town, unprecedented growth in the Stone Oak area has made the gap between rich and poor even wider.
Marshall is 14 months.
Marshall is already ahead of the curve.
You know, they set up different classes for his age range.
Mary Lou Allen is moving to San Antonio and handpicked this neighborhood for its amenities.
Most of the schools within the Stone Oak area are rated, if you go on to Realtor.com, most of them are rated 9s, 10s. All the parks are always really nice, even within the subdivision. Everything's always really clean. The HOAs are always on top of it. It's safe for me to be able to ride around the sidewalks with Marshall.
Violent crime here is low. The median income, $107,500. But the flip side of better schools and safer streets, Mary Lou will pay a lot more in taxes.
Anything and everything for our kids. We sacrifice everything for them. I just hope that he's able to get a good education and push through. I want him to kind of follow his dreams, do whatever he wants to do.
Parents from every part of town just want the best for their kids, and they all define it the same way, to get a good education and to succeed. But disparity comes at a price.
The community that surrounds this congregation is a community that has been struggling for many, many, many years.
The people who fill these West Side pews every Sunday, trade workers, immigrants working paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And sometimes
I grew up always playing basketball down the street here.
the success story.
I got my bachelor's in psychology and a minor in criminal justice. Oh, is $15.
Oscar Chacon succeeded with the help of the church's after-school program.
I know I made my parents proud as being the first of our family to go to college and graduate.
But staying put, falling through the cracks is all too common, as the pastor found with another neighborhood kid.
Was delinquent. He tried to set a fire at the back of the church. We engaged. We tried to work with him. He comes from a family that is historically dealing narcotics.
The boy was involved in a shooting the day before we sat down with the pastor.
He represents kind of the other end of the spectrum.
Disparity here impacts the whole city. It leads to segregated neighborhoods, unequal infrastructure, more expensive health care.
I would invite my sisters and brothers who live on that other part of town to say, hey, there is a responsibility here to take care of these children, these families who are dreaming the same kinds of dreams that your kids dream, but who only have this many options in front of them when your kids have this many.
Now, a sign San Antonio is ready to confront the silent crisis. The Office of Diversity and Inclusion was recently renamed. San Antonio has its first ever Office of Equity.